A support player named Moham hit rank 1 earlier this week in Korea, spamming Seraphine after her big changes in 14.5, hitting 1,590 LP. They posted their achievement on Twitter and then lost 5 games in a row. Classic stuff. Moham's Seraphine setup is that he goes Guardian or Airy depending on the enemy comp, but always goes Inspiration secondary with triple tonic and biscuits with double adaptive and flat health. For his abilities, he goes 3 points to Q, to W max, to E max. Moham always rushes Ionian boots and goes Dreammaker into Shirelia's. He will usually flex Moonstone or Merkale's third and then buy either Morello's or Staff of Flowing Water. He also always goes Flash Heal. Moham plays a very aggressive early game. Level 1, he will always be queuing and autoing either minions or the enemy champions. An interesting thing to note is that he uses his Q almost off cooldown, which makes sense since after the changes her mana growth went down but her mana regen increased by over 2 times. He also takes biscuits, so he has a lot of mana to work with. Moham will always use his empowered autos to hit the enemy, and he is really good at weaving them in after an ability. I never realized how important that was on Sera support until I actually reviewed his VOD, but the damage adds up and you get a lot more kill pressure in lane. When he knows he's gonna hit level 2, he walks forward to try to all-in the enemy. He misses his E on Senna here, but hits the Q and gets the auto from very far because of the range extension after using both abilities. Moham waits for his cooldowns to come back up before walking forward and shows us how insane the Seraphine Q buffs are by bursting Senna. That 10% increase on the damage amplification is crazy even at level 1. It's also even crazier because she's doing that with Guardian and not Airy. If we run this back in slow-mo, we can see some pretty cool tech. If Sera's Q is far enough, you can actually auto in between the Qs hitting to maximize that damage application for missing health. Another trick that Moham uses to win lane and land more Qs is that he will throw out high note when the enemy AD carry wants the last hit. This way, it forces them so that if they want a CS, they have to get hit by his Q. I was curious to see if Moham had any tricks for using triple tonic because this is a relatively new minor rune and I don't see a lot of players running it. For Elixir of Avarice, it seems like he just pops it whenever he gets it so he can get the 40 gold as soon as possible. I thought for that game, he might have misclicked it thinking it was a health potion, but even in another game, he just uses it whenever he gets it. Nothing special for Elixir of Force either. When Moham knows he's going to be in a fight, he'll just use it. Same for Elixir of Skill, nothing fancy, just uses it when he gets it. For teamfighting, Moham has really good spacing and makes sure he positions himself in the backline where he is close enough to land abilities on enemies and to buff his team with his Ws. He prioritizes getting the double cast on W once he has Moonstone and is pretty smart about how he uses his other skills. He'll make sure to wait so that he has 3 stacks on his passive before Wing, and it seems like once you get Moonstone and can double cast W twice in a fight, you seem to just win because the healing, shielding, and movement speed is just OP. After the Sera changes, I think we can all agree that Sera's support is back. I know people are testing out other support builds on her, but I think Moham's build is the best and it will slowly become more popular. It's one of the most cost-efficient builds that does a lot of damage and has a lot of utility. Give it a try and let me know what you guys think.